Hello everyone, welcome back. There's something in particular about the incident of the Nigerian C-130 cargo aircraft violating the Confederation of Sahel States airspace. And notice I use the term Confederation of Sahel States airspace. You see, this thing between Nigeria and Burkina Faso, as they're trying to frame it, Nigeria themselves, they want to be a puppet of France. But there's something in particular we are overlooking that is very interesting, and I think is something that is very important. Nigeria violated the airspace of the Confederation of Sahel States. Remember, the communication that was made on the national television of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger was made at the same time. This is how many of us learn of this violation. During their communication, the press release, they mentioned that the Nigerian aircraft violated the airspace of the Confederation of Sahel States. So this is not an issue between Burkina Faso and Nigeria. See, Nigeria want to be the puppet of France, but this thing is a issue, or the response, I would say, is between the Confederation of Sahel States. They put their air defense on high alert. That doesn't mean, well, that does mean if another aircraft from Nigeria violated the airspace of Niger, it will be taken out of the sky, or Mali or whatever. So Tinubu, you can tell he's not a strategic thinker. He received the script from France and trying to play this divide and conquer rule by not acknowledging the Confederation of Sahel State, the AES. This is not a simple issue, or this is not an issue between Burkina Faso and Nigeria. No, it's not. This is a confederation. This is Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger are in a confederation, which means their diplomacy, military, everything is linked. Is linked to legal means. In ECOWAS, there's no legal means. ECOWAS is a economic bloc, somewhat political. It's trying to turn itself into a political military bloc, which it can't. It doesn't have the means to do so, and it take directive from outside forces, whether it's France or other Western states. Something interesting, this divide and rule tactic that Tinubu is trying to place on to use on the issue with the violation of the airspace of the Sahel states is that they're saying they're in discussion with Burkina Faso. And ladies and gentlemen, I can tell you that there will be no discussion, at least solo discussion between Burkina Faso and Nigeria. This will be discussed at the AES level. Why? Three ministers at the same time came out and made a statement that this aircraft violated the airspace of Burkina Faso, yes, but they also emphasized that it violated the airspace of the Confederation of Sahel States. And they did not say that they will put Burkina Faso air defense on maximum alert. They say they will put the totality of the airspace of these three states. Any aircraft that enter the totality of the Confederation of Sahel State airspace will be taken out of the sky without authorization, of course. So we see the Tinubu regime trying to, the more they speak, the more they dig themselves in deeper waters. Ladies and gentlemen, I think what happened is that the panic within Tinubu regime, within ECOWAS, France definitely took advantage of this. When something happened, we're human beings. When something happened, adrenaline get high. Sometimes our thinking is not clear enough. And France went and used the Nigerian military, these Nigerian soldiers, to carry out this mission in Burkina Faso airspace, because Nigeria said the plane uh, suffered technical issues or whatever. But how did it find itself in Burkina Faso airspace? And one of the things that you notice is that Nigeria decided to communicate way after they were building their story, because if you lost a plane, you should make that communication, let your nation know or whatever, let the nation that the airspace, the plane, the nation that the plane decide to land in or want to land in, you reach out to them and you make a communication to your citizen or to your country, or this is an international incident. So you can tell the French took advantage of Nigeria to send them on this stupid mission, this mission that this mission that the French themselves would not carry out, because the French know they want to put Nigeria. This is basically a divide and rule, trying to bring an iron curtain in West Africa, and this will be a discussion between the AES and Nigeria. This is not even a discussion between the AES and ECOWAS, because many ECOWAS states do not follow the same logic that the Tinubu regime is following. And Tinubu is digging himself into something that I think is going to end bad that could end bad for the regime in Nigeria. Because you have humiliated your soldier. Why would you bring you go on a mission like this? Because what, you feel like you had some win in Benin? We know that it's the French who saved Patrice Talon. It wasn't the Nigerian military. It wasn't the Nigerian military that stopped this rebel, the rebel of the soldier. It was the French. And if you listen to the communique or the press release by the Sahel state of the three ministers on national television, this statement was not issued by the president of Burkina Faso. It was issued by the president of the Confederation of Sahel State, which is the president of Mali, General Assimi Goïta. So you can already tell this. The issue is not with the Burkinabe authority. Yes, the plane violated, it was in Burkinabe airspace, which is part of the Confederation of Sahel State, and the plane landed there. And one of the most interesting thing is that Nigeria kept saying that the plane landed. But the Burkinabe, the AES authority is saying the plane was grounded. It was forced to land, mean the plane was directed to a certain route because it was caught doing what it was not supposed to do, in my opinion, and it was forced to land in Bobo de Lasso. And if you see on the map that Bobo de Lasso is on the other side of Burkina Faso, which borders Benin, and Burkina Faso doesn't border Nigeria. So how did it find its way there? If it decided to land there, it was forced to land because it was on some mission or something. And this is what the authority of Burkina, they say they're doing an investigation. This is what they need to look at, whether this airplane was dropping logistic and even commandos, whether it's Western mercenaries or mercenaries, wherever they're from, to carry out sabotage within the country. So this needs to be taken serious. And ladies and gentlemen, the longer this go on, you realize how serious this is. And I said during my video, one of my posts, of the issue in Benin, Nigeria attack on Benin, was a huge strategical mistake by the Tinubu regime, because it has, during its high, it's allowed itself to be manipulated by France and found itself in something very deep. You think the Nigerian military is okay with this? And yes, today the ECOWAS is having an emergency summit because of one attempted coup d'etat in Benin. But they didn't do that when there was one in Guinea-Bissau. So you can see the complete panic is being set in. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said this before. There's only two options. It's either they subjugate the people of West Africa in their nation, or the people take their destiny in their own hands. It's one or the other. Because these unpopular leaders and these unpopular puppets and these unpopular regime, it's one way or the other. It's either they go, or they continue to subjugate the people. And this goes further to show the disrespect and the script that that France have given the Tinubu regime to stick to. You know, when the first when the Alliance of Sahel State first came out, one during one of his meetings, Tinubu, in his arrogance and ignorance, mentioned that they won't be bothered by some ghost alliance. Well, the alliance have moved to a confederation, and General Chiani said it best. Only ghosts can see ghosts, because Tinubu definitely, yeah, he definitely have one foot out of this world. But the document that was released, the statement that was released, was signed by General Assimi Goita, which means Tinubu or whoever is backer will have to negotiate with the Alliance of Sahel State. May probably General Assimi Goita will dispatch a negotiation team. So this will not resolve anytime soon. There will be an investigation. We're waiting to see what will be the communication of the authorities that are carrying out this investigation. And this is a violation of the Confederation of Sahel airspace, which means this has to be a total investigation. It's not just what you did in Burkina Faso, but how does this affect the Alliance of Sahel states? Because if you notice something interesting, the Alliance of Sahel state left ECOWAS almost a year ago. ECOWAS have updated their logo. They haven't removed the three states, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, from their logo. What is up with that? They are not part of ECOWAS. So you can see that ECOWAS is not necessarily for the people. It's not even an economic bloc. It's basically a tool of imperialism to keep these countries subjugated and in check in West Africa. So why not remove them from your logo? You're hoping that you can destabilize one of these states and probably force them back into ECOWAS. It's not going to happen. So you can tell these people are not strategical thinkers, and that is the danger of what they're doing. Because if some country can convince you to make a rash action to send you a plane in, is either a direct provocation on behalf of you or complete naivety or stupidity. So, ladies and gentlemen, this issue is not over. I think the more it goes on, the worse it will get. We're waiting for this investigation to commence and see why this military aircraft was in Burkina Bay, or the Alliance of Sahel airspace, without authorization. And you said you were sending this plane to Portugal, but there's no official announcement by our acknowledgement by Portugal said this plane was scheduled to land in anywhere in Portugal. So I said during my post, Tinubu is playing a dirty game. These are not strategic thinkers. They are not very strategic. They are not strategical in strategic in what they do. And that is the danger. Because Nigeria think it will have ECOWAS on its side. Burkina Faso and Ghana cooperation is like this. Burkina Faso and Togo cooperation is like this. Guinea, Conakry, you have strong cooperation with Mali. Guinea actually promised Mali access to the sea. Senegal now is coming around. So you can tell it's just Ivory Coast, Benin, and Nigeria. These unpopular leaders. If you look at their approval rating, is probably in single digit, who are subjugating their population. Their military is being embarrassed by terrorist groups. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to point this out so people don't get this issue twisted. This is not between Burkina Faso and Nigeria. This is between Nigeria, who wants to be a puppet of France or the West, and the Confederation of Sahel State. This is not even between ECOWAS. It was not ECOWAS airplane that violated Confederation of Sahel State airspace. It was a Nigerian airplane. So the issue is between Nigeria and the Confederation of Sahel State. And we've seen the message, the press release, and the message coming out from the Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs. which is very insulting. You said that there will be a discussion between Burkina Faso and Nigeria, which it cannot be, because if you listen to the text that was released, it was signed in Bamako. So you'd have to take your negotiators to Bamako and resolve the issue. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Analysis, critical thinking is what is needed, because these people think that their population and the people of the world and the people in Africa, wherever, are stupid. There's a thing called international law. Nigeria is not some superpower that can violate international law at will, as we see certain countries do. So thank you so much for watching this video.